Hello, and welcome to this midweek devotion. It's going to be a little bit different today, and I want to start with an announcement. Beginning this Sunday, December 13th, we will suspend our two in-person worship services while continuing our online service. There is one exception to this. On Christmas Eve, we will have an in-person service in our parking lot in addition to an online service that day. And I'll share a little bit more about that in just a moment. This decision has been made for two big reasons. The first is rising numbers of cases of COVID-19 in Conway and in Faulkner County. Using several sources, it is clear that we have entered the red zone, and we've done this for the first time. After we resumed in-person worship 8 weeks ago, we made the decision to use this criteria of whether or not we would suspend in-person worship, and we are clearly in that category right now. If you would like to see more information about what we used to make this decision, then I would invite you to go to a few websites: covidactnow.org, achi.net. This is the Arkansas Center for Health Improvement, and the New York Times Arkansas Coronavirus Map was very helpful to me. The bottom line is, we are in an area where the wise and loving thing to do is to limit gatherings. Even when we were following the guidelines of wearing masks and distancing and limiting our time together, which we were doing very well. With this decision, though, we want to give a witness to the larger community and then to support actions that are in line with our calling to love one another. And then this leads to spiritual motivations and to some devotional thoughts. The Apostle Paul uses the term body of Christ to describe the church. And with this description, we are reminded that the body, that the church is a body, not a building. The church is people, not a place. As the old song says, we are the church together, all who follow Jesus all around the world. Yes, we're the church together. In Romans chapter 12, Paul shares some of the characteristics of those called to embody Christ in the world. We show honor to others. We extend hospitality to others. We love one another. We practice patience in suffering. We persevere in prayer, trusting that God is with us and will see us through. We see these characteristics throughout this chapter, Romans chapter 12, characteristics of the body of Christ. So here's a connection for us. We are not suspending church. We are suspending in-person worship through at least January the 3rd. We will still, however, be worshiping together as the church. And here are a few highlights that I'd like to share with you. On December 20th, our music departments will lead us in lessons and carols online. This is going to be so good. On Christmas Eve, the 24th, we will have an online service at 4 in the afternoon, ending with the lighting of candles and singing Silent Night. And then at 7, we will gather in the parking lot, with each of us bringing our own source of light to share together in a brief time of devotion, and then again sing Silent Night in the parking lot with others outside. And there is something very appropriate about that for Christmas. Then on January 3rd, we will all participate in a statewide online service offered by our bishop. So friends, I also, in this same light, I also want you to know that our ministries of assistance and food pantry will continue. In addition, our children and mid-youth and youth and several adult groups are continuing to be the church in new and creative ways. And then finally, please know that we, as your pastors and as your church staff, are available to be in ministry with you in times of need. This is what the church, the body of Christ, does. Let me just end by saying this is all so different. And yet, in the differences, there are opportunities to experience the presence of Christ in new ways. And I do invite you to be attentive to that during this Advent and Christmas season. I do look forward to being with you in worship as we continue to ask this important question. What does it mean to say that God is with us, especially in challenging times? Thanks for joining me for this devotion and this announcement. It will be come to you in a written format as well. Friends, many blessings.